The veterans of foreign wars in Phoenix, a man at a pro-healthcare reform.
Dateline NBC, a primetime news program, airs a story in 1992 entitled Waiting to Explode. The story includes footage demonstrating that a line of trucks produced by General Motors readily explode on impact.
To see for ourselves what might happen in a side impact crash, Dateline NBC hired the Institute for Safety Analysis to conduct crash demonstrations. Unlike GM tests, the fuel tanks were filled with real gasoline. Look what happened. At impact, a small hole was punctured in the tank. According to our experts, the pressure of the collision and the crushing of the gas tank forced gasoline to spew from the gas cap. The fuel then erupted into flames when ignited by the impacting car's headlight.
After the program airs, one of the firemen at the taping of the crash contacts GM. The conversation inspires a full-scale investigation. 3 months later, NBC is forced to reveal their role in fabricating the news.
NBC's contractor did put incendiary devices under the trucks to ensure that there would be a fire if gasoline were released from the truck's gas tank.
We said the crash, quote, forced gasoline to spew from the fuel cap, end quote. GM says since the gas cap was the wrong cap for the GM filler tube, and because the gas tank was overfilled, the cap came off when the impact occurred.
We agree with GM that we should have told our viewers about these devices.
The Dateline reporter, however, said, quote, at impact, a small hole was punctured in the tank, unquote. GM has now x-rayed that tank and found no hole.
We acknowledge the placing of the incendiary devices under the truck was a bad idea from start to finish.
That's our new policy, and we'll be right back.
President Obama addressed the veterans of foreign wars in Phoenix. A man at a pro-healthcare reform rally just outside wore a semi-automatic assault rifle on his shoulder and a pistol on his hip. The Associated Press reports about a dozen people in all at that event were visible carrying firearms.
This was just about an hour ago. That picture's coming in right now from Phoenix, Arizona. He's actually carrying an assault rifle. He's at an Obama event. That's an AR-15 on his back. And we're being told from our crews there on the ground that he may not have been the only person in the crowd today that was carrying a loaded weapon. We should let you know, by the way, it's important that this is perfectly legal in the state of Arizona because they have an open carry law.
And the reason we're talking about this, a lot of talk here, Dylan, because people feel like, yes, there are Second Amendment rights for sure, but also there are questions about whether this has racial overtones. I mean, here you have a man of color in the presidency and white people showing up with guns strapped to their waists or to their legs.
It sounds simplistic when you put it that way, but it is real that there is tremendous anger in this country about government and the way government seems to be taking over the country, anger about a black person being president, just several upheavals in the country over the last 10 years, from 9/11 to the economic tsunami, to the black man becoming president. And, you know, we see these hate groups rising up, and this is definitely part of that. I'm not going to be surprised if we see somebody get a chance and take a chance and really try to hurt him. Or really, you know, and I mean, it's up to the Secret Service to make sure that it doesn't actually become history. But, you know, I think we're going to see somebody, you know, some sort of Squeaky Fromm, some sort of Mark Hinckley figure, because there's so much anger in the country about him, about what's going on with government.
Angry government and racism, you put those two together.